Hi, I'm Henrik with Lookback, and today I'm going to give you a product demo. So what you're looking at right now is my Lookback dashboard. I've already prepared a bunch of projects in here. Projects are the highest order of organization in your Lookback dashboard. So these are things that you want to research over time. You can do several rounds of research in a project, and you're kind of building up insights as you go. So you set up your project, you give it a good name, and you give it a good description so that your stakeholders know what it's about. You can also make projects private or public when you set them up. So it's this little button here, basically, give it a name, give it a description, and then if it's visible, that means that any member of your Lookback organization will be able to see this project. Transparency is great by default, but sometimes you want to keep things private, and in that case, you can only see this project if you've been added by the person who's setting it up. So I can find some members and I can add them on a member by member basis. So that's kind of everything you need to know about projects for now. I've already prepared a project here that I call Lookback Demo, so we'll jump straight into that one. And basically, the first thing you want to do when you set up a project is that you want to start a new round of research. Now, because I've already done all of this stuff and I've done a bunch of research in this project already, I've already gotten to like highlight reels and all the fun stuff that research is really about, which is to share out insights and interesting moments with your stakeholders. And you'll see also that in your project you have all of these different kind of rounds of research that have been rolling in over time. But in order to get there, the first thing we need to do is to actually start a new round of research. So we'll go ahead and do that, and it's this button up here. New round of research. The first thing we need to do is to decide what kind of research we're going to do for this round. So with Lookback, you can do pretty much anything that you'd like to do in terms of qualitative user research. And we have two moderated round types and two unmoderated round types. So I'll just go through quickly kind of when you should use what round type. So in the moderated round types, we have interview and live share. Now, interview is built specifically for user interview style research, where the primary kind of topic of the research is to talk to a participant and just hear what they have to say about something. You want to see their face. You want to hear what they have to say. Perhaps you want them also sometimes to share their screen, but it's not a full-fledged usability test, so you don't need to have that all the time. You also perhaps want to share your screen as a moderator with them sometimes. That's perfectly fine. But the main point of using the interview mode is that when you do just like basic user interviews. What's super cool about this mode also is that it's completely web-based, so there are no needs to download anything for the participant. So that can also be like a benefit if you want to do usability testing. But your participants perhaps aren't very tech savvy, or they don't have permissions to download things, then this is the mode for you. So have a go at that. The other moderated mode is live share. This is for usability testing specifically, so it takes care of the screen to a much higher extent. So participants will arrive already onboarded with their screen shared and the correct URLs open and all of that stuff. So and the screen will stay shared for the entire time. So you won't run into problems with the participant perhaps unsharing their screen in important moments or something like that. So if you know you're going to do usability testing, live share, and you know that your participants are fine with downloading a Chrome extension for desktop or apps for their mobile devices, then this might be a better mode for you. In the unmoderated category, you can either do a kind of step-by-step task flow that you set up for your participants and they can go through that, or we can do a more kind of free and loose unmoderated flow called self-test, where you just send some basic instructions and then it's up to the participant to just like do whatever comes in mind when they see those instructions. So these are kind of the four modes. Today I'm going to show you how to just quickly set up a task flow, because that's the most that's the one that has the most options. And obviously if you set up an interview, it's very simple and there's no device requirements or no flow or nothing like that. It's just get going. But like tasks will show you all of the different things that you can do. So we'll start with that. We'll pick it. We'll enter into the round editor. And I'm just going to move my camera a bit over here. So basically on the left hand side you have a bunch of settings, device requirements. Let's say that you only want to do iOS testing, then you need to unclick these so that the participant can't start the test on other devices. You can also like do things with the mobile browser controls in case you're doing URL prototype testing and you want them to appear as prototypes rather than as websites. So that's pretty cool. And you can also decide what you want to do with the participant camera. Is that something they can pick by themselves if they want to use or not? Is that something you require, or is that something you don't want them to use for PII reasons or something like that? A pretty neat new feature, especially if you're doing unmoderated testing, is that you can also set the session limit. This is something you fill in if you want to over-recruit for a study and you want the study to automatically close once you have reached your limit of successful sessions. So play around with that, it's pretty cool. And on this side you have basically where you set up the flow that the participant will be guided through. Regardless of what kind of method you're using in Lookback, there's always going to be a welcome message. This is something that the participant sees before they click on anything, other than the link that you sent them, before they need to download anything, before they start entering anything. So this is a great place to just like say, hi, thanks for this study, here is some things to think about. Here are some things to think about, and perhaps fill this NDA or whatever you want to do there. For the task test, you will set a scenario that they will be given before they start doing anything else. So it can be, for example, today we are shopping. And here you can start setting URLs for your study. So this is our URLs that will open automatically on the participant device as they are presented with these different things. So let's say, for this, we're going shopping. Let's do Amazon. And then you can start adding your tasks. Now, these will be a task flow that the participant has to go through, and they can't back up, and we take care of that. We make sure to take care of trigger happy participants that are just trying to go through the flow. We make them actually look at the URLs that you have provided, and we make sure that they don't move through the task flow too quickly, etc. So this can be like find the red shoe or something, and you can put another URL here if you want. You don't have to, but it's up to you to design your test. And then you can add as many tasks as you want here, and the participant will be guided through all of that. And then they will get a final message that says, thank you, here is a survey that we'd like you to take before you finish, or like here's where you pick up your incentive, etc., etc. So once you're done, you save that, and this study is now kind of set up and you're ready to start recruiting. If you want to preview how this will look from the participant perspective, you can use this preview sessions here. These are unlimited and free, and you just send this link to yourself or someone else, and you can see how it's going to look. And if you find something in there that, if a preview sometimes turn into a real test and you find something important that you want to save, then you can just turn them into a real session. So you don't have to worry about like sending the wrong links or anything like that. Great, so now we're done with the setup, and we can go back to the project and start recruiting. So this was now the task round that I started. My sessions will appear here as participants start finishing their tasks. But in order to get them going, I need to first send them our participate link so that they can click that and start recording their sessions. I find that up here. I click this one, and the first thing on the screen is the participate link. This is how all Lookback tests are started by participants clicking participate links. As you'll notice, this is one link that is unique to this round of research, and all participants participating in this round of research will get the same link. They will get unique rooms when they click this link though, so you don't have to worry about participants kind of colliding with each other or getting into the same session, or if you're in one session and it's going over time, you don't have to worry about the other participant arriving. They will all be sent to a waiting room, or in this case, since it's unmoderated, they will just be sent straight into their own personal test, and it will be a unique session. One thing that's really cool about Lookback lately is that we've started integrating with these great partners. User interviews was our first one. We're also going to add very, very shortly respondent. So these are great panel management, participant management tools, basically, you can use to recruit and manage participants. And our integration works so that when you paste your Lookback Participate link into their flows, then we keep track of what those participants are doing on the Lookback platform, and we send that information back to the panel management tool. So that comes in handy, so you don't have to go kind of back and forth between different tools to see who has done what and who should be paid, and who should be reminded that the study is still open, etc. So try out one of our integrations if you're doing research at scale. It's pretty cool. So you copy paste this, you send it to the participant, and then you get going. So now for something completely different, before I will show you how task sessions look. Let's do a live share round of research, one of these ones, with one of our participants. And I will show you the Lookback player and kind of all the cool stuff that you can do in there. So we'll start a live share round of research. So this is where we're doing a live usability test. It's going to be on mobile. I've already prepared a round here. I've done some just a landing page, some simple instructions. I didn't have any. That's fine. It's open to everything. The participant camera is going to be optional. So I prepared this project, and I've sent the link out to my participants, and then I will now wait for the live session to start. So I can sit in my dashboard and I will get these notifications. I can also, if I'd like, just enter my mobile phone number, and I will get a notification when participants arrive. So I join in with Russ. So this is a live share with Russ. And I will move my camera somewhere smart now, perhaps here. There we go, somewhere there. So now I'm in the Lookback player. My participant is waiting. They're on mobile, they're on iOS. I can start moderating. So I'll do that. I'll be given this little flow where I have to pick my camera, I have to pick my microphone, make sure everything is working. Great. I call the participant. They are now getting a little notification that I'm calling them. And here is Russ. Hi Russ, how's it going? Very good. Thanks for participating today. This is going to be not your most talkative participant session ever, because I will just show some features in this player, but thanks for hanging around, and you are live. So what we're seeing now is this is the participant screen. Right now they're talking to me, so I'm here, but they can go to the browser window, and that will take them to the URL that I pasted. And as you can see now, we see what's on the participant screen. We will see when they scroll, we see kind of where they're touching, and they can, basically do whatever they want here, and we will see the participant as well, and we will hear them. They can kind of keep this little instruction window wherever they want it. So this is great. Let's pretend that I'm asking the participant a bunch of questions, and all of this is recorded. And we're also on a timeline. You can see up here that it's kind of moving. And so if I start writing a note now, participant said something important, then this is now a timestamp note about this thing. You can also see that I have a colleague up here, Drew, who's just joined me for in this session. Hi Drew, how's it going? Can you help me take notes, please? So this is a great way to have a bunch of your different teammates in there. They can be note takers. They can just observe and all that stuff, and the participant won't hear them. You won't hear them either, actually. They can just chat with you, so you can do your job as a moderator, and the participant doesn't even know that they're here. So that's great. I mean, you should tell the participant that people are observing the session. That is the ethical thing to do, but the participant isn't doing the test in front of a visible committee, which would be what they do if they are in a video conferencing tool or something like that. So you have your feed here, and all your colleagues can be in there, and they can have fun. Observing research should be fun. We've built this to be a great place where your whole team can engage with what you're doing and kind of look how good you are as a moderator, and appreciate how hard research is and all that stuff, and see the participants struggling with different things. So they can take notes and all that stuff. They can take as many notes as they want. If you don't like their notes, then you can just filter them out and you don't have to worry about that. Their notes are still there if someone else likes them or if they enjoyed making them, but they won't pollute your notes, so to speak. So you can have as many note takers as you want. You can use these filters. If at one point the feed gets very lively and you're busy under cognitive load trying to build rapport with the participant, trying to understand what's happening, we have a focus mode button up here that we can press. And now I only see my stuff, or if someone who's observing this is @mentioning me. So perhaps Drew, you can try to @mention me with a question, and we will see that this will pop up here now. So I don't have to worry about missing anything, even though I'm kind of closing down all the activity because I want to focus on my own notes. Well, thank you, Drew. That was excellent. So what's cool about this is that we can do all of this stuff as it happens live. I can, my audience can ask me questions, and I can take notes, or someone else can take notes, and that's pretty cool. This is built for everyone to have fun, so enjoy researching with your whole team. It's pretty cool. Now, if I would like to then finish this session, I can do that, and we can go to the analysis afterwards. So thank you, Russ. This was great. Best participant ever. See you around. Bye. So I end the session, and I say, well, yes, thank you, Lookback. This was great. Thank you. And then the video will now be coming up very shortly. We do kind of instant processing on the fly, so there's no waiting. You can start working with the video right away. I want to point your attention to this little part here where it says discuss the session in GoTeam. If you click this link, then you will enter a special video room. It's not recorded, but it's just a way, if you've had a lot of action in here and there's been a kind of a great session and you just want to debrief with your team without switching tools, you can just click this link and everyone's camera comes on and you can debrief on the session together. Now, the first thing you want to do, perhaps once you've recorded a session like this, is that you want to start transcribing it. So we offer transcription in a bunch of different languages. This one was in English, and so I will start transcribing it. No need to keep this open. I will be emailed when it's done, or I will see it come up here. And then I can start going through my notes. So they're all timestamped. I see now that my note taker took a note. I'll go to that part in the flow, and I'll look at it. Yes, I agree, this was an important note. I can now reply, and I can @mention other people in my team. For example, Craig, and I can say, do you agree that this was important? Socializing kind of these insights and just getting expertise into it right away is a great way to actually make sure that what you're bringing into your report is relevant. So, now Craig can answer here, and if we all agree that, yes, this was indeed a very important insight, I can then promote it to a highlight. This will make us grab 1 minute by default, so it's this little thing here of this whole video session. Perhaps it wasn't a minute, and I want to edit that. I can either do that up here, or I can, drag down here to see exactly what I want to do with the highlight. Once I have my highlight, I can then export it. I can show it on the dashboard to export it later, or put it in a highlight reel, or I can just copy a link to it depending on what it is. If it's only a bug, perhaps it doesn't have to go into a reel. I just want to copy someone, or I just want to @mention someone, and then they can do whatever they want to do with it. Or sometimes I want to show it on the dashboard so I can put it in a reel or export it as a clip. You've also noticed now that our transcriptions have come in. They're also timestamped, and you can start, once you're done with all the notes. This one also was a great insight. I'll turn that into an insight, and I'll send it to the dashboard. Was there something else? No, that's what we found so far. And then I will go through my transcriptions. Perhaps I can use just the find feature on my computer, and I can say, okay, I want to hear when they talk about something great. So this is great. That's actually the moderator saying that, because the moderator was talking too much in this session. But anyway, let's pretend that was the participant. I go to the timestamp, I check the video. This was indeed great. I just start, I make an insight there. This is now kind of where it was. I will turn that into a highlight. I will send it to the dashboard. And then I'm kind of done with my analysis for now. I can always return to this later, but for now I want to start making a highlight reel because I've already learned a bunch of different things. Perhaps before I do that, I want to have other people watch this. Perhaps I want to create a public link. Perhaps I want to download the video and export it, etc. So that's kind of other people can start working on it right away. Or perhaps I just want to go to the highlight reel feature and start doing that. So I go back to my project and moving my little camera around here. Now I'm in the project, and this happened down in the live share feature here, which was down here somewhere. Here it is. These were the ones that I just made, and I want to move all of these now into my highlight reel that I have made for this project. So across all the rounds I can now move all of these to my highlight reel, and I have a bunch of highlight reels here. This was the one that was about, it wasn't the one that was about shoes. Perhaps let's put them in this one, the new reel. So I will move them there, and I'll go up to my reel, and now we can see this was my reel here, the new reel. I've done a bunch of different kind of insights over time that I've sent to this reel, and now I've added some new ones, so I want to reorder those. Perhaps this one actually makes more sense up here, and this one makes more sense up here, something like that. I can move this around as I want. Once I have a reel like this, I can either download it right away and send it to someone, or I can copy a link to it so that people can come in and help me work on this. I can edit the description of the reel as I learn new things so that people understand what it's about, or I can play the reel straight away in my player. So this will then load up the reel, and as you see here now, these are now all the highlights in the reel. So I have one here. This is from an interview study I've done with Russ previously. I have some other ones here. They are named, and if I've done my job kind of describing them, they will make sense up here. So that's kind of cool. Once I'm here, I can create a public link so that people that are outside of Lookback are able to see this thing, or I can export it by downloading the full reel, and I can send it that way. Now, that's kind of what you can do with Lookback in terms of sharing quick insights and organizing them and making highlight reels. You can also, if you're doing more unmoderated research at scale, you remember that we set up a task round before, you can also use our export of the feed feature to start doing a bunch of kind of metadata analysis. So you load up your video, and you make sure that your filters are including everything that you want. So I want my notes, my transcriptions, my tasks. I want to see where they are in the highlight, and then I just export those as a CSV, and this will allow me to do some more detailed analysis on the data. So I export my CSV, and it has all of these useful things in there. It has the text depending on what it was. It has the time in the session where it happened. It has the author of it. So is it the participant saying something, or is it the moderator making a note, or what is it? It has the exact timestamp. It has the type of thing that this was. So what is this, a piece of transcription, or is this a reply, or is this a highlight? And it also has all of the markers, which are the tasks, right? So task 1 started at 10 seconds. Task 2 started at 75, so that means that at 65 seconds was the time to completion for the first task. So this is pretty cool. I can use this across. If I download a bunch of these from across a task project, I get very kind of high, fine-grained analysis possibilities where I can calculate things, and I can also find interesting moments. So this was insightful. I can then grab this URL, which points me to the project, and I can copy that. I paste it in my browser, and it will bring me to the right session and to the right moment in the timeline. And I will just jump straight in there, and there we go. This was the insightful thing. So it's also a great way to share out research in Slack, in reporting, in whatever way you want to do. So your team can just jump straight in here and start working with this, and also zoom out and see the other context. Perhaps they will find something else here that was very interesting. So those are kind of some of the ways in which you can share different insights across your team with Lookback. But it all starts with setting up some rounds of research, having some conversations with customers, or watching unmoderated research roll in, and then quickly creating highlights from that and building up reels or sending those highlights out, or as I just showed, exporting the details and getting all the URLs that you can put in reports or share or Slack, or however you want to interact with your team. So that was it for the overview of the product. There's much more that you can discover, and we'd also love to hear your feedback on this. So have a go. We have a free trial. Play around with it, and happy researching. Take care. Bye.